is up, everyone? Darkside Phil here with an important channel update for February 22nd, 2013. A hell of a lot to talk about, a major change in some of the things that I'll be doing here on YouTube, or at least the way that I'm going to be doing certain things, and I really want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk a little bit about this week and how some things that went down that I want to talk about that kind of made me think a little bit more and change my mindset a little bit. And I think I'm thinking of what I'm thinking of right now. I am overwhelmingly positive, okay? Because I really have a positive feeling that if I move ahead with this new, it's not necessarily a new idea, but a new mindset for the year, I think not only is it going to be a successful year, but it's going to be a very entertaining year and very fun, okay? So actually, let me turn off my TV. I forgot to turn it off so I'm not distracted. So first of all, you might be saying, holy shit, we noticed a major change. Well, yeah. For the past 6 months, ever since I went on vacation out to Florida in August of 2012 with my girlfriend, I've had a beard that kind of went from, you know, my sides of my face all the way down here. It was never a full grown out beard, but I was trimming it and such. And then finally last night I was shaving and I looked at it and I was like, first of all, I could tell, and this, unfortunately, this happens with men's hair on their faces. Anyone who grows a beard could tell you this, that hair grows in different directions. And in my face, the hair doesn't uniformly grow, say, in one direction. Unfortunately, some of the hairs grow one way, some grow the other way. So even to make the beard look normal was getting more difficult with me trimming it and such. And finally, I was looking at it, I was like, you know what, I really just don't want to trim this thing anymore. Enough. And I shaved it off. So that's the story. We're back to just the goatee. And yes, I still have the long hair and whatever, but I was tired of the beard. The beard is gone, at least for now. I doubt I'm going to be growing it back anytime soon. But I actually kind of feel refreshed because it's a nice smooth shave. And I know you're also riveted because this is what you tune in to channel updates for, to hear me talk about my facial hair. Okay, so let's talk about the past couple weeks. I've honestly been a little bit bummed out, and I do want to apologize if I did come off to anyone a little bit more on the negative side. Just because of some negative things that have been going on with me. First of all, having massive snow out of nowhere, 3 feet of it. You know, we've never had this much snow in Connecticut since, they're saying now 1888 was the last time that we had 3 feet of snow in this area of Connecticut. And it pissed me off because my mobility was limited and it was cold as hell and it was really annoying. And that was one negative thing that happened. And then, of course, Aliens Colonial Marines came out, which was a huge disappointment for anyone who's, especially for someone like me, and anyone who's a fan of the Aliens movies, because they just didn't do anything good with it. And I did a playthrough of the campaign. I did just a little taste of the multiplayer, okay? Not surprisingly, after the first few videos, no one kept watching it, because it's boring as fuck. The game is so boring. It's repetitive as hell. The first stage is pretty cool because you're fighting aliens, then all of a sudden you're fighting generic humans. You're like, why are there generic humans in an aliens game? We should be fighting fucking aliens. It should be cool. There should be different enemy alien types, and we're infiltrating the hive, and we're fighting boss monsters. No, instead you're fighting generic humans for more than half the game. And it just really is such a letdown. Of course, now there's all this controversy surrounding the game. Did Gearbox misappropriate funds or whatever? So that was just one negative for me that kind of brought me down. And, you know, then there was the Skyrim DLC that I did, Dragonborn. And admittedly, I didn't have a lot of time to do it. I didn't have a lot of time to do the side content of it. But I was disappointed with the main story. The main story of it was interesting, but it was far too short for me. The reason that I'm disappointed with the Skyrim DLCs, I want people to understand. The 2 DLCs that I played so far, story-based for Skyrim, compare those to the story-based DLCs that came out for Fallout 3 and for Fallout New Vegas, okay? Those DLCs were anywhere from 6 to 8 hours long of just the main story. And yeah, there was side content, but the main story was riveting, was interesting, the dungeons were fun, and it was pretty cool. The Skyrim DLCs have had main storylines that were only about 2 to 3 hours long, if that, kind of, you know, not so knock you on your ass, you know what I mean? If anything, there were maybe the two books that I went into during this last Dragonborn DLC were the coolest part, and it was far too short-lived. So to pay, what is it? I think it was either $15 or $20, I think, for the Dragonborn DLC, and if you're not a person who just wants to hunt around for side content, if you're only looking for an interesting, riveting, story-based DLC, you're not getting it. And the past 2 DLCs for Skyrim have been like that, and I've been very disappointed. But I don't think Bethesda's been doing a good job with these DLCs. I think the ones that they put out for Fallout 3 were a hell of a lot better, okay? So then coming off of that you know, spending the weekend with my girlfriend, which was fun. But then coming back from that and getting sick, I had a stomach virus earlier this week. It's the worst stomach virus I've ever had in my life, okay? It's that bad. I was vomiting and shitting for like 10 hours. It was ridiculous. I'm just not going to get into the details now that I've already told you that. I'm not going to get into the gruesome details any further. But it was horrible, and I couldn't eat solid food for 2 days, and I was feeling under the weather, so I decided to do the Assassin's Creed 3 DLC, again, only to find out, here's a $15 DLC, oh, sorry, I think it was $10, where the story of the DLC was only an hour and a half. It was all repetitive side content. And so, it's just like, the DLCs are just really disappointing me lately, where I'm having high expectations, and they're falling flat on their faces, okay? So that's one thing that I've been considering thinking about DLCs, okay? And then this week, there were 2 new releases, but because I was sick, I was unable to pick up the new releases on release day. I got them a day late, and they were Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance and Crysis III. Well, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, I'll admit, at first when I started it, I was sucking ass at it. It wasn't until about halfway through the game when I finally got adept at the slashing mechanics and whatever. Finally, in about, I'd say, the 3rd quarter of the game, I got parrying down. In fact, a lot of people were complaining. I know someone went to 4chan and posted the videos, and 4chan came over and spammed my videos with negativity and shit. It's okay, it happens, it's okay, and it's just free views for me, so it really doesn't bug me. But there was one video that I think was the Monsoon boss fight. I actually had to disable comments because so many of my fans were actually sending me messages saying, Phil, can you just either disable comments or do something, because there's all these 4chan idiots coming over and being nasty on it. So I just turned off the comments on that one particular video that people had requested that for. But later on, you'll actually see videos where I'm parrying every single thing coming at me. So I did eventually learn the game. I beat the game today. Great game. I really enjoyed the game overall. Even though I had some difficulty learning and adjusting to it, I really enjoyed the game, and the playthrough has completed as of right now over on DSPGaming. So that was a positive for this week. But then, paired with that, was Crysis 3. And I'm going to be honest with everyone, I was actually skeptical of even getting Crysis 3, okay? For a few reasons. Number one, I knew that PC aficionados, fanboys, whatever you want to call them, were going to give me shit for getting it on a console. Even though I have valid reasons for wanting to get it on a console, okay? Number two, I was wary that now it's the 3rd outing for this series, that it was going to become either more of the same or it was going to like be not even as good as the part 2. And keep in mind, I never played Crysis 1, I only played Crysis 2. So, unfortunately, I played 10 parts of it, and all of my horrendous expectations came exactly true. The game, in my opinion, is very poorly designed. First of all, it's a horrendous port on the Xbox 360. You know, and for me, I guess shame on me, but not shame on me, because I was fooled by Crysis 2, which ran well on the Xbox 360. Well, Crysis 3 runs like fucking monkey shit, okay? Horrendous frame rate, audio bugs up the asshole. It just runs like, it runs horribly. And I was so disappointed. And then in addition to that, the gameplay. The gameplay is nothing like Crysis 2. In Crysis 2, you could pick how you wanted to play it. You could be Mr. Run and Gun with extra armor and just treat it like a typical FPS and run around killing everything. Or you could use a stealth tactic like camouflage, and you could run through the game and you could actually do it that way, and it could be completely different playthrough experiences. This game, no, you can't. This game, it's like, it's run and gun or you just don't play it. Because I've tried using the camo. I even had all the full camo upgrades. The camo always runs out before I can even get across a room. And if you get close to any enemies, they see you even if you're in full body camo. So what's the fucking point of the full body camo? There's none. The game literally just becomes you have to play it like a run and gun FPS, which I don't want to do. And so I'm disappointed because Crysis 2 allowed me to play it how I wanted. Crysis 3 does not. So more than likely what ended up happening in my first 10 parts, which is the 10 parts that I've recorded of the game, is I just ran through the stages. Now how sad is this? I'm trying to sneak through, my camouflage would run out, the enemies would start shooting me, so I said, fuck this, and I would just run full speed to the other side of the room and get to the checkpoint and pass it. And I actually beat 2 whole chapters of the game by almost literally running by every enemy in the game. What the fuck kind of game did Crytek make? I mean, really, honestly, Crytek, I'm going to be honest with you guys. You lost it. You did. You've now lost your creative edge. Because here's the bottom line. When Crysis 1 came out, it was 2 things. It was pretty much a graphics accomplishment. Wow, look how amazing this game looks graphics-wise on PC. But also, it was one of the very first FPS games that had a full cloaking mechanic, where you could be completely invisible and you could do this kind of sneaking gameplay. And so it had a gimmick to it that really caught hold, and people liked that. And then Crysis 2 continued that on. Well, guess what? In the past few years, we've had other games that have done it even better. We had Deus Ex Human Revolution. We had, just a couple months ago, we had Dishonored that did it really well with it. Instead of more gun-based, it was more kind of sneaky ninja action combat-based, with stealth and invisibility and such. So this game has basically lost its gimmick, and they didn't really add anything new except giving you a fucking bow, which is like, wow, so now I can hit you with a bow, but it's slow, so as soon as the firefight breaks out because someone sees me, that's it, put the bow away, and you gotta take out a gun, and it becomes a running gun shooter. In my opinion, this game blows. And I've only played 10 parts, like I said, so about an hour and a half. That first hour and a half sucked ass, in my opinion. And you might say, oh, it's because of the way you played it. No, I just don't want to play it like a run-and-gun FPS. There's too many games like this, okay? This game didn't even need to be fucking made, in my opinion. So I'm very disappointed with this game. So, after doing that, after putting out the 10 parts last night, all I see on the videos, of course, overwhelming negativity. You played the game wrong, you did this wrong, you don't know what you're doing, you suck at this game. No, I could have played it like a run-and-gun FPS if I wanted. I don't want to. I wanted to play it stealthily like I did the last game, and I fucking can't. The game doesn't let you. The game is terrible, in my opinion, okay? Plus the fact that I'm playing an inferior port, which really pisses me off, because again, I was tricked by Crysis 2. So, all this stuff happening around the shitty DLCs here, and the shitty FPS bullshit here, and I'm really starting to rethink in my mindset of what I really want to play this year. Because it was funny, the other day I released my new release schedule, game release schedule for this year. The games that I was planning on playing. And there were some weeks, like this week was one of them, where I said, well, sorry, no retro replay and no other kind of game. We have 2 new releases and we're going to play them both. And people started saying, well, Phil, honestly, it kind of sounds like you're going back to your old habits, because you said that you weren't going to play every new release. You were going to pick and choose the ones that you were more interested in, and you were going to maybe do other stuff that you thought would be fun on the side, but that doesn't seem to be what you're doing. And you know what? You're right. Because this week, when I really sat down and I looked at these 2 games and I said, do I want to play Metal Gear Rising or do I want to play Crysis 3? I should have said, original hack and slash game with Metal Gear story mechanics, probably going to be pretty neat, versus a game that's probably going to be a generic FPS, and I should have expected it. I should have said, you know, fuck this, focus on this game, and then also maybe play another fun game alongside of it. Maybe Metal Gear Solid 4, or maybe something completely different, since obviously I didn't want to play 2 Metal Gear themed games at the same time. And I think that would have been a much better option for me, and I apologize to anyone who this week was kind of pissed off because maybe, you know, you definitely didn't want to see this, and maybe this didn't turn out to be your cup of tea, and now you have nothing to watch. So I completely agree with you that maybe what I need to do is go back to my gaming schedule and really determine what it is, games that are going to stand out, games that are going to be games that are fun playthroughs for me, entertaining for you, but then also balancing that off with other stuff. And I actually took a look, and I'm going to actually stand up now and look at my calendar very quickly, my gaming calendar for the rest of the year that I have filled out. And I do see a couple of weeks in particular, excuse me, they have multiple games. For example, in 2 weeks we've got Tomb Raider and Naruto. I think it's like Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. But you see, that week is kind of okay, because 2 completely different styles of game. I have absolutely never played a Naruto video game before, okay? And Tomb Raider, I want to play the new Tomb Raider. I haven't played a Tomb Raider in 100 years. This is a reboot. This is going to be interesting. They're taking almost an Uncharted style take at the series. I think those will be good playthroughs, even if it ends up not being, let's say if Naruto ends up being not so good or it's a failure, I don't like it, that's okay, because at least it's something I'm trying new. And I'm interested in it, and I think that you would be interested in it, okay? But here's a perfect example of a week that I think I'm going to change up. The week of, I believe it's the 2nd or 3rd week of March, it's the week when God of War Ascension comes out, but also StarCraft II Heart of the Swarm. And here's why I'm thinking about this. Because I'm really thinking hard about it, and I'm saying, well, first of all, if I had to choose between the 2 games, which one would I play? And I'm thinking to myself about it, and I'm also thinking about my previous history here on YouTube, who's liked what. And the thing is, I've done playthroughs of both of these genres of game. I've done God of War 3, that was very popular. I've done StarCraft 2, the original StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, or whatever it was called. And I enjoyed both games, but realistically, I have to think about what translates into an entertaining playthrough. In addition to that, I have to think about what game is a game that people would want to see me play that maybe there isn't already an expert fucking community out there playing it. So for example, Crysis 3. There's probably 1,000 people playing this on PC doing playthroughs right now. Oh, look at the graphics of my PC. They are awesome, and I have pumped them up to play Crysis 3, and now watch me play this generic FPS with great graphics. There's probably 1,000 people out there doing that. So, for me to play this game, who gives a fuck? But, you know, I have to also think about that when compared to, so, thinking about that particular week, God of War or StarCraft 2, I have to say, you know what? I think God of War is one that people are going to want to see me play. They really enjoyed my God of War 3 playthrough. It's an action-based game. There's a lot of jokes to be made. It's a prequel to the series. There's a lot of kind of raunchy adult-style stuff in it, too. Last time, some of the sex jokes I made with Aphrodite were some of the funniest shit ever in the playthrough. And I think that's the kind of game that really caters to my kind of playthrough versus StarCraft, where I did a StarCraft 2 campaign playthrough, and really a lot of people said it was kind of boring. I enjoyed doing it, but it was also very long, because the game is longer, and, you know, let's be honest, there are people who only fucking play StarCraft. There are going to be thousands of people, notably Koreans, who are going to be playing the fuck out of this expansion to StarCraft. Do I need to play it? And that's what I'm really thinking in my head. Is this a game that I'm really dying to play and continue the story of? And the answer for me, honestly, after really looking inside, is no. So that, honestly, may be a game that I skip. I may actually just totally skip StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Because at this point, I don't know. Number one, I don't even, my Blizzard.net account got hacked, okay? So the account that had the original StarCraft 2 on it, I'm pretty sure is gone. So I would have to repurchase StarCraft 2, then buy the expansion. Is it really worth it just to do a campaign playthrough of the game? Probably not. And so more than likely that's a game I'm going to skip. And so what I'm trying to get at here is that coming in the future, starting right now, I'm going to more intelligently and more thoughtfully plan out my schedule of what I'm going to play. And what my goal is going to be is to always have a variety of content that people probably want to see from me, that there's not 1,000 other experts out there playing it, so that why would you want to see DSP play it when there's 1,000 people who are expert level players at it? And so, the honest question that I'm posing to everyone right now in this channel update is I'd like to know what you think about Crysis 3 and if you want to see me keep playing the game, okay? If I keep playing the game, I'm going to play it like a run-and-gun FPS, like every other FPS, because that's how it's supposed to be played, apparently. And so that's what you're going to see. But what I would really like to do starting Sunday, okay, is I would like to start doing a retro replay game and pair it with another game that this is not a retro replay game, but it's not a game I've ever played before, okay? But it's a game that people have requested repeatedly. It's a game that I'm very interested in. I missed out on it when it was originally released, so I never played it before at all, but it actually did have an HD re-release, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it. I know I'm beating around the bush, I'm trying to build up a little bit of suspense here of what the game is, but my whole idea is that not only will I have retro replay going, but on a week like this next week when there are no new releases that are coming out that I'm interested in, because I think the only one was like Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires, and I'm really not interested in that right now, to do stuff that I am interested in. So, the retro replay poll is about to close. It's going to close within a day or two. So, this is quite literally now your last chance to vote. If you have not voted on the retro replay poll, this is your last chance. You have probably about till Sunday to vote, okay? And whatever is the highest vote on Sunday morning when I wake up is going to be the winner. I'm going to close the poll. I'm going to open a new poll with the new selections, new choices for you to pick. It's going to be some different choices than the ones from the original poll, okay? I'm going to mix it up. I've actually gotten a couple other games and things that I can put into the running. So that's number one. I want to let you know. I'll have a link in the description of this video. Your very last chance to vote. Please vote if you haven't yet. But what I also want to do is start a new game for this week, because I have a full week now to get through a new game plus a retro replay game before the new releases come out on March 5th. And so what I'm here to kind of announce is, unless you want to see me continue Crysis 3, so unless an overwhelming number of people say, Phil, yeah, keep playing it, okay, slow rocky start, but we want to see the rest of the game, I'm sure you could find people who played it on their fucking PCs at super blown out graphics and they're doing running and gunning, boring fucking FPS gameplay. You can go see that somewhere else already. I'm sure someone's already done full playthroughs of it. But what I'd really like to start on Sunday is Bully Scholarship Edition. The HD re-release that came out on Xbox 360 a few years back. When it came out, people were asking me if I was going to play it. And at that point, I didn't even know anything about the game. But I've heard nothing but good things about the game since then. And I'm actually thinking it's a good game that I could pair with whatever wins the Retro Replay poll, which is probably going to end up being Metal Gear Solid 4. And it would be a good split for this next week of what to expect. So you can see those two games every day this next week. And hopefully, you know, if I sit down and I play those games a lot, maybe I can even get through them earlier on than the next release date. And if I do, that means I'll have a couple days where there's staggered footage where I'm still uploading those playthroughs, but I can work on other things. Because I'm going to be honest with everyone now, I'm now disappointed that I was not able to work on my gaming news series and back in the day with DSP, those two series that I really wanted to work on. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to work on them. I've been putting more time into my Hateful Truths, which take 3 to 4 hours now to make it at minimum. So you can expect Hateful Truths and stuff coming up this week, especially Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I know some people want me to review it, so you'll see that coming this week. But really, I'm disappointed because I really wanted to put time into those series, and I just haven't had time to do it. And it seems like every time that every chance that I get that I may have enough time, then something happens. You know, oh no, I'm sick for 2 days now, I'm behind anyway, or you know, some bullshit happens and I end up being behind. So the bottom line is this: I'm changing my mindset. I'm not going to be looking to play every major release, and I'm also not going to be looking to play every major DLC. I'm going to weigh and balance carefully what I want to play. Okay? So an example of a DLC that I actually do kind of want to play would be a Dead Space DLC. There's supposed to be a Dead Space 3 DLC coming out next month. That I'm interested in. Dead Space 3, a great game in my opinion. I really want to check out the DLC. That's what I'll check out. The Virgil DLC, that's free for everybody, okay, for Devil May Cry, when that comes out. It's probably going to be short anyway. Yeah, I'd be interested in checking out that DLC. But a larger, you know, a DLC for Skyrim that's a month delayed because Xbox 360 gets an exclusive, I'm probably going to skip them from now on, okay? And it's just an inevitability. I'm not liking them. I'm not liking what they're doing with them. The Assassin's Creed 3 DLC I actually did like, so I might continue the storyline when it continues next month, but now I know that they're super short. But that's good. That means it's a kind of a filler for a day when I may not have enough footage to upload. I can upload 10 videos and continue the story of that because that's as long as it is without the side content. So there's going to be DLCs though that I'm going to probably be skipping on purpose because instead of doing them, I'm going to be doing things like play Bully, okay? I think people would enjoy that more. Phil, play this game that we want to see you play, or a game that you never played that we'd be interested in seeing you play, or do a new retro replay, rather than playing DLCs and playing fucking generic Crysis nonsense, you know what I mean? Play something fun. And that's what it's all about at this point. I have to start playing things that I find fun and that other people are going to find entertaining, and that's my new kind of renewed focus now going forward for the rest of the year. Does that mean that I'll be skipping out on things that may be outside of my comfort zone? Absolutely not. In fact, I even mentioned in my scheduling that I might be trying out this new racing game called Grid 2 when it comes out later this year. And now that the PlayStation 4 has been announced, and that is a major thing that happened this week, PlayStation 4 is announced, some of the launch titles have been announced, including Infamous Second Son, Drive Club, and supposedly Watch Dogs. Well, I'll be stepping out of my comfort zone there too. Maybe I'll try Drive Club, even though I'm not a fan of real racing sims, just to check out the technology of the system, you know what I mean? But yeah, by the way, if you didn't see it, I should mention that. If you didn't see it, I did make a whole like 25-minute summary video of everything that happened at the 2+ long hour Sony press conference this week. I cover most, if not all, of the details. The only thing I really don't cover is tech specs because they didn't release them until after the press conference. But I talk about everything that was discussed in the press conference and my personal feelings on it. Overall, I am feeling positive about the PlayStation 4. I don't know why, just because I did kiss Sony's ass throughout the entire reactions video, that people think that I'm a Sony hater. Oh, you're just a Sony hater. No, I'm actually very positive. I think the PlayStation 4 right now looks stronger than whatever Xbox is going to put out, and what the Wii U. The Wii U now looks like it's fucking dead in the water, and that whatever Xbox is going to put out, I think they're going to be behind because the PlayStation number 1 looks like it's coming out first, and number 2 is working hand in hand with developers to make the games, which is what they should have done in the first place. but they're doing it now and the games are looking great. So I'm really excited for the PlayStation 4 later this year. I cannot wait to get my hands on that console. But anyway, I digress. It doesn't mean that I'm going to not be stepping out of my comfort zone here and there to try to do creative and original things, but I need to figure out more entertaining things for you. So what I'd like you to do, please, on Twitter, on Facebook, on the comments of this video, let me know, and of course if you're a member of my website, you could also talk about it on the forums, let me know. Would you like to see me start Bully Scholarship Edition and whatever wins the first Retro Replay poll on Sunday, which is probably going to be Metal Gear Solid 4, and do that as content this week? Or would you rather actually see me go back to try to do Crysis 3? I want your honest feedback, okay? Maybe the game is better later on. I don't know. Right now I'm not impressed. It seems like boring, generic FPS nonsense to me. More like eye candy for PC owners who are just, oh, it's a beautiful game, so that I'm not actually noticing that the gameplay is horrid and it's a fucking repetitive FPS game. So, okay. That was really all I wanted to talk about in this channel update. Tomorrow, just to remind everyone, John Rambo will be here for the first time in several weeks. We'll have a new edition of Smart Guys. We are going to do some kind of cooperative gameplay. We haven't decided what it's going to be yet. It could be anything. It could be indie games. It could be a retro game. It could be a modern game. We don't know. We're going to figure it out. I apologize we didn't do WWE Elimination Chamber simulation matches last week because he wasn't here because I was with my girlfriend, which I said in the weekend preview, but then so many people contacted me that day. I'm like, this is why I put out the weekend preview. I wish people would watch it rather than ask me on Twitter, why didn't you do Elimination Chamber simulations? I'm very disappointed. You would have known what was going on if you had been paying attention. So maybe we will do Elimination Chamber simulations tomorrow. I don't know. We haven't even talked it out because we've both been so busy. So tomorrow we'll determine what we're going to do. It's going to be fun no matter what. We'll definitely come up with something entertaining for you guys. So, oh, sorry, I got a burp coming up. Ooh. Okay, so that's it for this channel update. I'm feeling really positive now. I can't wait to jump into 2 new games on Sunday. I'm feeling very excited about it, and I hope you are too. I hope that you're excited with the choices that are going to be being played. And again, a new Retro Replay poll will be opening probably on Sunday, if not Monday, so that you can start voting on the next Retro Replay, which I know people are excited to vote on. So it's going to be different choices. You're going to have new games as options in there. There's going to be good choices to pick against. So definitely check out the poll. I'll be doing a vlog video, obviously, when that poll opens so that you can vote on it and you know when to vote, okay? Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching, for participating, for sticking in there with me. Definitely check out the Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance playthrough. If you didn't get a chance, like I said, I did suck at the beginning of the game, but I got dramatically better during the course of the game. Don't listen to the idiots in the comments saying, Phil sucks and he shouldn't be playing this game, because I do get better later on. Keep in mind, I started playing it when I was under the weather. I was still sick that first day. So, you know, oh, God forbid that I'm under the weather and I try to play a video game and I don't master the fucking game on the first day. Give me a break. These fucking perfectionist people sicken me. Oh, you're not an elite player like us. And I don't aspire to be, because I like to have fun when I play. I don't just like to just fucking repetitively do shit over and over and over until I'm a master level at one game. I enjoy playing all kinds of different games and having fun with them. And that's what I'm all about. And that's what I've always been about. So, thanks a lot. I will see you for new gameplay tomorrow, co-op gameplay, and then Sunday for 2 new games on DSPGaming. Thanks a lot. Peace out.